Yeah, guys. Today we'll be looking at solving quadratic equations using the factorization method. All right, so let's get straight into it. We have 4 examples. Our first example is x squared plus 7x plus 6, and that is equal to 0. It's an equation. So step number 1 is to multiply the coefficient of the x squared term, which is 1, by 6, which is the constant, or c. All right, so that gives us 6. Step number 2, we ask ourselves what two numbers multiply to give us 6, but at the same time, will add to give us 7. All right, so we see that 6 and 1, or 1 and 1 times 6, is equal to 6. But if we add 1 plus 6, we also get 7. So those are the two factors we're going to be using. That is 1 and 6. All right, so step number 3 is to rewrite the quadratic equation. That is x squared plus 1x plus 6x plus 6. And that is equal to 0. In case you're wondering where the 1x come from, the 1x is coming from there, guys. 6x is coming from there. All right. So our next step is step number 4, and we're going to bust it down the middle, and we're going to factor it. All right. So step number 4, factorize. We're going to pull out the highest common factor in the first half, and we see we got x, and inside the bracket we have x plus 1. Right? Whatever is in our first bracket is going to be in our second bracket. That's going to be x plus 1 also. Outside of our second bracket is going to be plus 6, because we need to be able to, when we multiply it out, that is 6 times x, we need to get back that 6x, and 1 times 6, or 6 times 1, we need to get back that 6 there, yeah? Alright, so that is equal to 0. Remember, it's an equation we are solving. Step number 5. We have x plus 6 and x plus 1. Okay, that is equal to 0. Step number 6. This is where we're going to put the binomials. All right, that is x plus 6 and x plus 1. Those are called binomials. So we're going to put them equal to 0 and solve for x. All right, so we have x plus 6 is equal to 0, and x plus 1 is equal to 0 also. So let's go ahead and solve the x plus 6 first. We have x is equal to 0, take away 6. So x is equal to negative 6. All right, so first value of x is negative 6. Let's try to find the second value. All right, so we have x is equal to 0, take away 1. So x is equal to negative 1. All right, guys, so those are the two values. All right, ans, x is equal to negative 6. All right, and x is equal to negative 1. All right, so those are the two values, guys, that you can plug into the quadratic equation above. All right, that will actually give you the result of 0. You can test it out at question number 2. And again, we're going to solve it using factorization. Our method is pretty much the same, straight and simple. And guys, I try my best not to give you a series of different methods, because we don't want to create an abomination. All right, so we're keeping it simple. One method throughout, guys, one method. All right, so while it is that you could have actually solved question 1 a bit easier, I want you guys to recognize that this single method will work for all the quadratic equations, all right, that are factorizable, of course. All right, so we're looking at our second example, guys. All right, and we see that step number 1 is to multiply 2 by 3, and that's going to give us 6. And again, let's see what those two numbers are. We have 2 times 3, that gives us 6. But if we add those same two numbers, that is 2 plus 3, we will get 5. So yes, guys, those are the two factors, 2 and 3. That is the two factors of 6 that will multiply to give us 6, but at the same time will add to give us 5. So those are the factors that we're going to be using. So in step number 3, we're going to be rewriting the equation. We have 2x squared, all right, plus 2x. All right, we see where the 2x is coming from, plus 3x, right, plus 3. Okay, and in the event that you don't know where the 3 is coming from, the 3 is coming from right there. Okay, that is equal to 0. Step number 4, we're gonna bust it down the middle, guys. We're gonna bust it down the middle, and we're going to pull out the highest common factor, and we see that is going to be 2x, guys. So inside the bracket we have x plus 1. All right, now we know that in our second bracket we're going to also have x plus 1. All right, that's our second binomial. That is equal to 0. Outside of our second bracket, guys, we're going to have plus 3. All right, and we see why it's plus 3. 3 times x is 3x, and 3 times 1 is going to give us the 3. Step number 5. All right, let's go ahead and write out our binomials. That is x 2x plus 3 and x plus 1. All right, and that is equal to 0. Step number 6, as before, guys, straight up, we're going to put those binomials equal to 0. So we have 2x plus 3 is equal to 0, and we have x plus 1 is equal to 0. Let's go ahead and solve our first binomial, our first equation now. All right, so that is going to be 2x is equal to 0, take away 3. Right, so 2x is equal to negative 3. We're going to divide both sides by 2 so we can get the x by itself. All right, negative 3 divided by 2. Okay, guys, and we see now our answer. Our first value for x is negative 3 over 2. All right, our second value for x, guys, is x equal to 0, take away 1. So x is equal to negative 1. Can't go wrong with that, guys. All right, it's that straight up, it's that simple. All right, step by step, and you can't go wrong, people. Look at it. I know it looks long, but trust me, once you get a hang of it, you're good. For real. Yeah, guys, so we are looking at our third example of solving quadratic equation using the factorization method. All right, you can see on the board we have question number 3. 10x squared plus 12x plus 2 is equal to 0. All right, so we already have our step 1, which is to multiply the coefficient of the x squared term, all right, by our constant, or multiplying our a by c to get ac. And in this case, guys, we got 20. All right, 10 times 2, 20. Okay, step number 2, we're asking ourselves what two numbers multiply to give us 20, but if we add them, we'll get 12. All right, and we see it's already on the board, guys. 10 times 2 is equal to 20, and 10 plus 2 is going to give us 12. So yes, guys, 10 and 2 are the factors that we're going to be working with, because those two numbers multiply to give us 20, but at the same time, when we add them, we got the 12, which is the coefficient of the x term. All right, so step number 3, we're going to rewrite the equation. So that is 10x squared plus 10x plus 2x plus 2 is equal to 0. And as we say, guys, we're going to bust it down the middle. Yeah. All right. So step number 4, we're factorizing it. So we're pulling out the highest common factor, that's 10x. All right. X plus 1, guys. In our second bracket, we know what we're doing. x plus 1, guys. And that is equal to 0. Outside of our second bracket, you know it, people. We're going to put 2. Yeah, because 2 times x give us 2x, and 2 times 1 is going to give us the 2. Step number 5, let's write out our two binomials now. We have 10x, all right, plus 2, and x plus 1 is equal to 0. Step number 6, step number 6, guys, we are going to solve those, we're going to put the binomials equal to 0. So that's 10x plus 2 equals 0, and x plus 1 equal 0. Yeah, so let's go ahead and solve the 10x plus 2 equals 0. Let's solve that equation first. It's actually a linear now. All right, so what we have here, guys, is 10x is equal to 0 minus 2. Okay, so that is 10x is equal to negative 2. In order to get the x by itself, guys, we have to divide by the coefficient of the x term. All right, so we're going to divide both sides by 10. Divide both sides of the equation by 10. Okay, and guess what? Yes, people, you know it. The 10 cancel off. Okay, leaving us with x equal 2 into itself goes once, and the 2 into 10 goes 5 times. So our answer is negative 1 over 5. All right, so that is our first value, guys. Our first value of x. Let's look at the next value, guys. So we have x plus 1 equals 0. So that is x is equal to 0. Carry over the 1 there, become minus 1. So x is equal to negative 1. All right, guys. So yeah, those are the two values that we're looking for. Let's go ahead and put our answer at the bottom. That is ANS. X is equal to negative 1 over 5. All right. And we also have x is equal to negative 1. X is equal to negative 1. All right. Yes, sir. And guys, we have our final example. Example number 4. Yeah. All right. Example number 4. That's where we're at. Let's get that down. Example number 4. And that is 3x squared. All right. Minus 10x minus 8. And that is equal to 0. Solution. Remember, guys, I said it's good practice to keep your questions and your solutions separate. Having solutions alone makes no sense at all, guys, when it's time for review. Always separate your question and your solution. All right? Do not just write down solutions. Step number 1, we are multiplying 3 by negative 8, and that's going to give us negative 24. All right? Step number 2, what two numbers multiply to give us negative 24? But at the same time, if we were to add them, we'll get negative 10. All right. And we see those two numbers are actually 2 times negative 12. Right. 2 times negative 12 is going to give you negative 24. Okay, guys. And at the same time, 2 plus negative 12 is actually equal to negative 10. Yeah. So those are the numbers that we're working with. In other words, those are the factors of negative 24 that we're working with. That is 2 and negative 12. Because they multiply to give us a negative 24, but at the same time they add to give us that negative 10, which is the coefficient of the x. Sorry, guys, the coefficient of the x term. All right. Step number 3, we're rewriting the equation. So that is 3x squared plus 2x minus 12x minus 8 is equal to 0. And I don't need to tell you where the 2x and the negative 12x is coming from, because I know you get it by now. Yeah. So we're going to bust it down the middle, guys. Yeah. And we're going to proceed now to step number 4. And we're pulling out the highest common factor. And we see that it's just going to be x, guys. So in our bracket, we have 3x plus 2. I don't know. Whatever is in the first bracket, that's what's going to go into the second bracket. That is 3x plus 2. Don't forget the 0, because remember, it's an equation that we're dealing with. All right. Outside of the bracket, guys, what are we going to put there? Yes, sir. You don't know. Minus 4. Why minus 4, you ask? Because negative 4 times 3x is going to give us back that negative 12x. And negative 4 times 2 is going to give us back that negative 8. So you don't know. Step number 5. Go ahead and write out our binomials nicely. That is x minus 4, the x outside here, minus 4, yeah? And we're going to write back one of the ones inside the bracket. They're the same thing. So that is 3x plus 2. And that is equal to 0, guys. Don't forget the 0. Equal to 0. Step number 6, we're going to turn those binomials into equations. All right? So that is x minus 4 is equal to 0. And we have 3x plus 2 is equal to 0. Don't know we're going to solve the x minus 4 first. Yes, sir. So that is x is equal to 0. We're carrying over negative 4, we're transposing, so you don't know what's going to happen. Sign is going to change, guys, so it's going to become a plus 4. All right, so x is equal to positive 4. On our right side, where we have our 3x plus 2 equals 0, solve that now. So we have 3x is equal to 0 minus 2, or take away 2. All right, and that gives us 3x is equal to negative 2. All right, in order for us to get that x by itself, guys, you don't know, we have to do the opposite of multiplication, and that is division. So we're dividing by 3. All right, both sides, because we have to keep the scale balance, you know. Yeah, you have to keep the scale balance. All right, so there we go, guys. X is equal to negative 2 over 3. All right, so our answer, x equals 4 and x equals negative 2 over 3. Yeah, guys. So those are the values that we can plug into the quadratic equation above. All right, that will give us back 0. Yeah, that is it, guys. So take your time, pause the videos, work the questions out, follow the steps, and know, guys, you will get it after this. Trust me. Again, guys, factorization, can't go wrong with that. So we're solving quadratic equation using the factorization method, yeah? Alrighty, guys. Bless.